Hello, everybody. How are you? This is Cheryl Abram, and you're with Person Centered Cyber. How are you? Y'all, I have a good one tonight. I'm telling you. Uh, so, I have been intimately involved with a cybersecurity incident reporting and accountability plan. Okay. Uh, and I already knew like the stuff that needed to go in there, but I'm trying to influence a certain direction, okay? Because the second I heard hold people accountable, it was like nails on a chalkboard, okay? Nails on a chalkboard, right? I've been hearing this for so long, and I've written about it on LinkedIn. I've written about accountability and all that. I think I have to write about it again though, because it's nuts. I mean, it's nuts. Okay. So let's just get right into it. Okay. I got my notes on my phone. So many of us in the work that we do, we work with CISOs. Okay. What does that stand for? Cybersecurity Information System, something like that. Whatever. But the lead people, okay, in the normally they're under the CIO, the Chief Information Officer. Normally, you have the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer. There you go. And we also have leaders in the Security Operations Center, the Network Operations Center, all that. Leaders just sprinkled everywhere. Okay. Well, many times you'll hear, and I'm sure you've heard how users who are the rest of us who are not part of the cybersecurity workforce, right? That when they say users, that's normally who they're talking about, okay? End users, right? They need to be held accountable. We hear that a lot. So they put, rules in place, and they play gotcha, and you did this wrong, and you need to be held accountable, and all that. Okay. I don't even like saying that. Okay. It's ridiculous. Okay. So let me break this down. Okay. For the people who are saying it and feel like you know what you're saying, you don't. All right. Let me just tell you right now, you don't know. And we do that. We get into the workforce, we get into a career, and we just start saying stuff that other people say. All right. Thinking we understand what it is, but not really. Okay. So that's all that's happening here. All right. All of us do it. I do it. Y'all do it. Everybody does it. All right. We just saying some stuff. All right. Feeling like we sound like we know what we're talking about. This here, right here, this got to stop. Okay. Because y'all, it's got to stop. Okay. So let's break it down. Now, what do we mean when we say, and I'm saying we, okay, because I'm in the profession too. All right. So I'm taking it for the team. All right. What do we mean when we say we are going to hold users accountable? What are we really saying when we say that? All right. Now, if you tell the truth, this is what you're saying. You're saying, I'm going to blame you if something pop off. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You're saying it's going to be your fault. All right. If somebody come up in here, it's because you clicked that link. It's your fault, that all this stuff happened. That's what we're saying. Okay. So that's not accountability, number one. Okay. To say it's your fault, that is not accountability. That it ain't nowhere near accountability. All right. That's blame. Blame is always and forever will be a personal attack, all right, on you. Blame is like It's like what is it? It's like a predetermined, like you've already made a decision that you're too slow to understand this, or you're too disinterested, or whatever. It's because of some personal attribute that you have, okay, that something is going to go wrong. That's what blame is. Okay, and this is not just in the workplace. Okay. Think about in your own house. All right. And think about when people blame you, or when you blame somebody else. It's a personal attack. Okay. That's what that is. So when we say we're holding users accountable, we already have programmed in our heads, they're going to do something wrong because they're like this. Okay. Because this is the way users are. They don't pay attention. They don't care. They prioritize convenience over security. They do, we got the whole thing. We got it lined up. We already know. Okay. We just need it on paper. We need proof. Okay. That they ain't worth nothing. All right. So it's all blame. Okay. So don't get it twisted. That's what it is. Okay. Now, what is accountability actually? Okay. Accountability is like night and day. It's like night and day. Accountability ain't got nothing to do with blame. Okay. It has nothing to do with your attributes as a person. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Okay. Accountability is acknowledgement of your power. Did you hear me? I wish I had a bomb so I could, Accountability is acknowledging the power, authority, and control that you already have. You understand? Huh? You already got it. All it is me admitting, yeah, you already got authority here. Okay? That's what that is. And I don't hold you accountable. I recognize the authority you have to be accountable. All right. That's what's happening there. All right. And leaders could be threatened by that kind of thing. They'd rather blame. They'd rather hold you accountable than acknowledge the power that you already have. Okay. All right. Because they feel like, I'm with they now because I know we're in this camp. Okay. Because they feel like what it seems like is to hold you accountable means I'm giving you something I have. Okay. First, it was mine first. Okay. I had the power and authority over it first. Now I'm handing it to you. So now I'm going to hold you accountable for this thing. What the hell is that? Come on now. Stop. All right. That's totally not, that's not even, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. So, and the same thing happens in training. The exact same with instructors and students. The exact same thing. Okay. We're not going to get into that right now, but it's the same thing that happens. So authority. I mean, accountability is acknowledgement of your authority as a user. As a user, what I'm saying is, hey, listen. What I understand is that you and the decisions you make all throughout the day, from when you sign in to work, through the VPN or whatever y'all using, okay, until you sign off at the end of the day, you make multiple decisions that impact the security of this organization. And then when you got thousands of people with that authority, okay, just one. All they make is one. Don't they? So it's not about, I have all this and I'm giving it to you, so now you're accountable and I'm gonna blame you if something go wrong. I mean, y'all need to sit down with that, like for real. Sit down. Just sit down. Oh, goodness. Mm-mm-mm. So what we want to do is, if you want to blame people, to go ahead on and do that. That's your prerogative, whatever. But that's not going to work. Okay. If what you're attempting to do is to influence behavior on it, in a sustainable way. Do you know what I'm saying? So they're not just doing what you feel they're supposed to do while you're around, and as soon as you leave, they're gonna do whatever that, no. Uh, Blaming is not sustainable. Okay. Acknowledging somebody's authority, that's sustainable. That's sustainable. So how do you do that? Let me see. So that's the number one thing. The number one thing is you let them know. I'm talking to CISOs and leaders and people in the organization who feel like they have authority to do something, to do something on the network, or, like leaders in the SOC and all that stuff. Okay. Those of you who are writing these policies and these, this guidance and filling out the forms, when people plug in stuff they're not supposed to plug in or whatever. Okay. I'm talking to y'all. Because the reality is, however large your security team is, it's not bigger than the pool of employees. Okay, I doubt it. That is it's like, you're a very, very small part of the organization compared to everybody else. Okay. And it's everybody else. Yeah, you got tools and rules and all that, right? But it's everybody else. You ain't keeping nothing secure if you don't have their cooperation. You ain't protecting nothing if you don't have the cooperation of the majority. All right. And let me tell you what you're not going to get. You're not going to get cooperation by holding them accountable and just looking to catch them and blame them, when and if something goes awry. All right. That's what you're not going to do. So if you want to influence the decisions, they're already making decisions all day long, already, that have something to do or can impact the security of the organization. They're already doing that. If you want to influence the direction of those decisions, number one, you acknowledge that they have that decision-making power, that they have that kind of control, that kind of authority. Okay. To dictate where we are as far as risk in every moment. All right. Acknowledge that, number one. And number two, what's with all this hoarding of information? What's up with that? Okay. If we want people in the organization to make good, sound, cyber secure decisions throughout the day, they need information to do that. Okay. And it's got to be more than policy. It's got to be much more than that. Okay. It has to at least be available to them so that they know where to go. Hey, I'm not sure what to do about this thing. Let me go here. Let me contact this person or something. All of this is like it's like a security secret society in a lot of organizations, right? Everything is secret. Everything ain't secret. There is some useful stuff that can be shared with the enterprise to help them, be accountable. Like that's what we're trying to do. What help them? How am I going to be accountable if I don't know anything? How am I going to exercise my authority to make a decision when I ain't got no information, or at least to make a secure decision? Okay. And so we have to do that. We have to share that information, share whatever you can share, and make yourself available to supervisors and managers who say, you know what, I just got some new people who came in. I want y'all to come in here and talk about what you do in the SOC, okay? And how what you does impacts what we do Okay, we are nowhere near cybersecurity professionals. Okay, we work in EEO office, or we're in facilities, but I want you to come in here and talk to them about how what you do every day impacts the way we work. Okay, and that's not a 30-minute conversation about how they don't need to be doing this, and don't click on links and don't do that. No, that's not what that is. Ooh, child. So share enough, acknowledge their authority, share enough information for them to make a sound, secure decision, and provide feedback. All right. So now here we go. We're promoting accountability by, man, several things: education, awareness, having folks come from the SOC to talk, people from the SOC can make videos about what your particular job is and how it impacts the organization. They go there, they look at those videos, you have a mailbox or something where people can ask questions if they're not sure about something. And when you do stuff like that, you help users, you help enhance their status, right? So now they're not just using the equipment, all right? They actually see the equipment and the security of the stuff, of the equipment and the things that they're doing as part of the job. This isn't something that's extra. This isn't something, okay, I do my job, now I gotta bolt this on like a Frankenstein, the security stuff, getting in my way or whatever. They won't look at it like that. It'll just be. I remember when when I worked in training, we were creating a new training office, like everything was going to be new. Okay. So we went out to different organizations in DC that had been voted best places to work in DC, not the federal one, the private best places to work. So I remember going to this one company, and we started asking them questions about what they do in training, what's their talent development like. And I remember the guy, he's walking with us through the building, and he's like, yeah, when people come in, we have somebody meet them, they meet them right here. And we ask them questions, we take them to lunch, we show them where they are. That person follows them for like the next 30 days. Any questions they have about anything. So he's going on and on, telling us what happens to new hires, and not just new hires when they come in. They have like phases. So it's like a whole year and sometimes beyond that they'll have this thing going. So he's talking. So I said, wow, that's amazing. I said, so how long have y'all had y'all's mentoring program? And he said, we don't have a mentoring program. So I was like, because everything he was telling me, hi, M. Gray, how are you? Everything he was telling me sounded like the perfect, like what people aspire to do, when it comes to mentoring, and bringing new people in the organization and people who've been there for a while, continuing their mentoring and then into coaching and all, you know what I mean? But he said, oh no, we don't have a mentoring program. That's just, that just got started, and that's just the way we do stuff around here, Can you imagine? So I just finished an ISO 27000 one audit, right? And when you can get that kind of stuff just in there, it's so embedded that can you imagine somebody coming and saying you're certified in ISO 27000, and they're like, no, we don't have that. That's just, we just do stuff like that around here. That's where we're trying to get these cultures, right? Where we're trying to have security, mature, secure cultures in the organization. That ain't never going to happen. Never. It'll never happen if we keep trying to hold people accountable. Never. It just won't. It won't. Do people have to hold you accountable for keeping yourself safe? Who got to hold you accountable for making sure your brakes work on your car? Who has to hold you accountable for being sure you got a cell phone on you when you leave the house? Huh? Who got to hold you accountable for eating at least 3 meals a day? Who got to hold you accountable for that? You know, nobody. That's stuff you want to do. Who got to hold you accountable for going to sleep at night in a nice bed? Nobody. Somebody might have to hold you accountable for waking up for work in the morning, okay? But I mean, the stuff that we want to do, we can't wait. Ain't nobody running behind you with policies and shit, trying to hold you accountable for that, okay? Because you see the benefit for yourself. You know, you see the benefits. You're going to make the decision to be sure that stuff is incorporated. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing here. This ain't rocket science. It's no different from anything else. But if I feel like it's being shoved down my throat and folks just waiting on a way to blame me for something, does that seem like something I'm just going to automatically? No, that's not going to work. M. Gray, you said the CISO and head engineer quit me and one other analyst on the team. I got an 8K raise and I'm a little worried, but find this to be a way I can implement an awareness program and use marketing. Like you mentioned before, yeah, I'm a little lost on what to do, but we have more freedom to actually fix some of the problems. 8K raise, that's pretty good. So, M. Gray, the awareness. So I'm going to do something else on here. You said the narcissistic CEO said we won't be held accountable if something happens. I asked her in writing. So he said we ain't gonna blame you if something goes wrong, right? That's good. Oh man. So something else I'm going to do on this channel is I have a sample cybersecurity, what is it called? It's like the cybersecurity awareness plan for the Department of Energy. Okay, it's on their website. It's so good. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I hope they're actually doing all that stuff they have in there, but it's so good, right? So I have that, and I have a sample penetration test, all right, where the individual has done the pen test and they've done the write-up. The pen test is, I mean, if it's cold and your heat go out and you're trying to get warm, then you can set that pen test on fire. Okay, that's about the only use I see in it, in the report. That's about the only use I see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have this, you know, the Department of Energy. Now, this is not the Department of Energy's pen test. Okay, this is just a sample pen test, right? But what I want to do is show, because M. Gray, this is where we need to start, even if you're doing an awareness program, right? What's most important to the organization? Okay. I have a whole, like when I worked at the Federal Executive Institute, I created an entire like spreadsheet of evaluation criteria. Because the main question is, not because this is about the business, okay? What's important to the business? All right, is it their reputation? Is it the revenue? And it could be more than one thing, okay? You know, is it their ability to influence other businesses? What's important? We got to start there. And then we come up with, okay, how are we going to know that we're actually, you know, that our reputation is what we want it to be? What are the clues? What's the evidence that's going to tell us, you know, that we have a good reputation or that our reputation is trash? Okay. And then we find out, okay, now what things are going to help us build this reputation? You know, it's like a whole, like you have to build, because what they want to do, especially when they're creating programs, like an awareness program, right? They want to start with, okay, what's the KPIs? Okay, what's the even if they may not even start with that, okay? They may just be like, well, let's find a good policy and let's do what they're doing. All right. Oh, that's why a lot of policies are written and they sit on the shelf until the auditors come. All right. And then you go through it and do what you need to do to get through it and then go back to business as usual. You know what I mean? We just have to do something differently. Right. And it starts with not holding people accountable. I can only, and you can only hold you accountable. Okay. You. What decisions are you making on the day-to-day? And so when CISOs and other leaders hold people accountable, the reason why they do that, one primary reason, is because it takes a spotlight off of them. They don't have to examine what they're doing, that's leading to, because there is no cause and effect, like this thing caused this other thing to happen. No, there's a whole bunch of stuff that came together, all right, in order for something else to happen. Leaders a lot of times take themselves out of the equation. They don't look at, well, maybe the policy I wrote was unclear. Maybe I didn't communicate it to the organization. Maybe I just put it out there one time and expected people to know it. Maybe during onboarding, I had people, I just shoved all this information at them, okay? All the security information. Never mind all the other stuff people got to do when they're onboarding, okay? But I expected them to know and remember and all the stuff they signed, come on. Stop it. So y'all, this cybersecurity stuff is much more than just machines and coding, okay? It is. It's much more. Do you know the original computer is you? You, a human being, right? That's what it is, okay? But we're leaving that out of the equation a lot when it comes to, how successful we are. And one of the things, one of my comments in the audit I just did was add whoever you're saying is responsible, because whoever you're saying is responsible for carrying out the things in this policy, get their feedback on how it's working. Don't just go to all the get their feedback. Is it easy for you to do this in this environment? Is it not easy? Like, what's going on? And what I understand is a lot of it is due to the way the businesses that we work for are set up. Especially if you work in the federal government, you got a whole bureaucracy, child. It's just that's set up. That one needs to go too. Okay. The way I'm telling you that this bureaucratic configuration is not useful. It's not useful. It's useful when it's useful, but when it's no longer useful, it needs to dissipate. Okay, it needs to get broken down. And that's the problem with human animals. Okay, human animals have an issue with setting something up that works, that may work for that time, right? But it works so well, we scared to let it go. Like we don't know, we don't know what to do if we don't have how what's going to happen. People are just going to, it's going to be chaos if we don't have a bureaucratic, That's not true. That's not true. Bureaucracies happen in nature, like out there, outside, animals, trees, all that. Bureaucracies happen there. But when they're no longer needed, they go away, Ciao. So we got to do better. Number one, quit saying you're going to hold users. Number one, because you don't know what you're saying. You're not holding them accountable. You're blaming. Okay, you're blaming. You're not acknowledging the authority and the power they have to make good, secure choices, because if you were, you would be giving them information other than just policy information and do not, okay? A whole list of what you ain't supposed to do. That's not acknowledging their authority to make decisions, okay? That's looking for them to mess up so you can blame them. That's what that is. It's our job to help mitigate risk, and users are a risk. Right, users and cybersecurity professionals are a risk. Everywhere you have a human heartbeat, you have a risk, okay? Every single place, everywhere. It don't matter what their door says, senior, whatever, you know, how many certifications they got up on the wall, none of that matters. If you got a heartbeat, you're a potential risk to the system, okay? That's what we need to get in our heads. That goes for CISOs. You're a risk, okay? Especially when you have, now this is interesting because we actually had this discussion when I talked about a couple of videos ago about how do you deal with toxic work environments, okay? And we talked about how supervisors, managers who do not have the skill to be leaders are actually increasing the risk for insider threat for that organization. That's what they're doing. If you are such, you know, you're the way you carry yourself as a leader creates an environment of low morale, okay? And people who, I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you just didn't want to go? I mean, thinking about Monday and going to work was just, I mean, your heart sank and all, and it's not because of the work. It's because you knew you were going to have to deal with this damn supervisor another day. That sets people up to be disengaged, but being disengaged is not an issue. Being actively disengaged, that's where you get potential for insider threat. Active disengagement is like, you know what? I'm unhappy in this place, and I'm gonna show you how unhappy I am. That's active disengagement. Disengagement is just like, you know, she ain't doing nothing. Don't ask her to do nothing, but she ain't doing it. Okay. You don't want them to get to active disengagement. And leaders have the power, the authority, the control to create an environment for active disengagement. Okay. That's a risk. That's a risk. And Greg, you said in banking and healthcare, many think they're the smartest person there. We have to find ways to motivate them. Absolutely. Because it's the collective intelligence. It's the collective intelligence that's going to help keep these organizations secure. It's not just the intelligence of the developers or the system admin or the network engineer or the, nope. We need the intelligence of people who ain't got nothing to do with cybersecurity if we're going to keep these organizations in a place where they want to be. They said, hey, this is our risk appetite. This is what we can take. This is how much we're willing to risk in order for us to meet our strategic goals this year, okay? We are there as security people, okay? Not just us, other support functions in the organization like training and marketing and, you know, acquisitions and all that. We're all there, okay? To help them, you know, remain in a place where they can take some risk, but still get to where they need to go and help them adjust. Do you know what I mean? All of us are there, okay? If anything, security people are super arrogant. I mean, we go in there like we know it all. We do. We go in there like and if you don't take my advice, you're gonna get breached, and I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna say, I told you so, okay? We act like we got all kind of power. You know what I mean? I mean, we need to go sit down somewhere. A lot we do. Listen, I absolutely love my cybersecurity professionals. I love this profession, but we need to go sit down somewhere. Many of us. Okay. Y'all know I adore y'all. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. Okay. What else I got here in my notes? All right. So let me just remind you, blame, to hold something, to say we're going to hold people accountable, you know, you all just tell the truth. When something go wrong, I need a paper trail so I can blame you. That's what you're saying. Okay. What do you say, M. Gray? Even though I'm new, I do feel that urge sometimes. What urge? What are you talking about? What do you mean by that? Urge to do what? It's like, so when I was talking to this with Dr. Phillips, he was saying, you know, people in law enforcement are the same way. Oh, yeah. That's not just you. So Dr. Phillips was saying people in law enforcement, when they first get in, a lot of folks, because he used to be in law enforcement, right? He said, you know, a lot of rookies would come in with that attitude because they have a sense of power. Because, and it's the same thing that happens with criminal hackers, okay? Criminal hackers have, many of them, the skilled ones, not the ones that are just repeating what other people did, okay? I'm talking about like these APTs. They have know-how, all right? They have know-how. It's not just they know something, they have the know-how. They know how to do something that the majority don't know how to do. So instead of using that power that they have, you know, to enrich people, you know, and help, you know, so that they know how to navigate in cyberspace and, you know, do all these things, they use it as a weapon. They use it as a weapon against people. The same thing happened when Christopher Columbus discovered America, okay? They had some know-how that the people who were already here did not have. And instead of using that to enrich the humans that were already here, it was used as a weapon, okay? We can't go into these organizations discovering them, okay? We can't be Columbus up in these organizations now, okay? You know, which is why I say every chance I get on here and in the presentations I give for Blacks in Cyber, human rights in cyber security, because I understand, I know the power that we have as cybersecurity professionals. We have know-how, okay? We know a lot of stuff that the regular, you know, person walking down the street has no clue about. They're in a whole cyber world, okay? And they don't know a lot, okay? They don't know as much as we do. So it's our responsibility as cybersecurity. We're not the criminal hackers, okay? With the cocky attitude who know they have all this power and they're using it against people. That's not our role, okay? That's not ours. Our role is to enrich them, okay, so that they now can develop. They don't have to become cyber professionals. That's not what they have to do, okay? But we can give them enough information for them to make better decisions in cyberspace, in the digital world, when they're on the network, you know, right when they, you know, sign into the VPN. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can help them to navigate in a safer way with what we know. And if that's not what we're trying to do, okay, then we need to go do something else. All right. And I said this in another video too, and people don't like it, but I don't care. I don't give a damn. Ethical hackers. If you are an ethical hacker, You call yourself an ethical hacker. Your goal, your primary goal when you go into an organization is to fail. Did you hear what I said? If you are an ethical hacker, all right, your primary goal is to fail when you go in there. Because if you fail, if you can't get in, if you can't infiltrate, if you can't create that back door and gain persistence and all that, that means the organization is doing something good. Their security is on point. If you go in there all disappointed, if you can't get, something, you guys, listen. Y'all don't get me started with this stuff here, because that's not what we're here to talk about. I'm talking about accountability today, okay? But the point is, we cannot have the same mindset as these folks, okay? We can't, all that think like a hacker bull, cut that out, all right? That is not what we do. That's not what we do, okay? And if you do that, then you've infiltrated the security team, okay? Because you got a whole nother goal. You got a whole nother goal. Oh, what you're saying, M. Gray? I just really want to send out literature and information to help people understand how to keep things safe. I'm really gung-ho on this awareness program. That's great. We aren't using the resources we have because the company wants their logo and marketing doesn't want to do the project, is what you're saying, part of a whole. I like that ideology, wanting to fail. It's not a contest of your own skills, but to test their posture. That, you got it right there. You got it. You got it. Okay. The thing that people, not in just Columbus's day, right, but other places around the world that were colonized, and removed, and all this stuff that human beings do, okay? But as far as America is concerned, the thing that the people who are already here was missing was people like us. Not to fight, no, but people like us who have the same knowledge and skill as the folks who came over here to try to take over. That's what they were missing. There was nothing between them and these people who were using what they knew as a weapon, okay? Now we're here, cybersecurity professionals, we're here with the same, okay? So now we're advocates for these people. We're helping them to level up, right? So that they're not at the mercy of criminal hackers. They're not at the mercy of people who came over here, just to take over everything, okay? So they didn't have that, but they have it today with us, right? So we need to fulfill that role, all right? And we need to fulfill that role. And a lot of it has to do, I believe, with the fact that, the way that we define cybersecurity, and I've talked about this before, we need to relook at all that, okay? We got to relook at all that, okay? So that we can be the advocates and the protectors that we say we are, okay? When I ask people, and I've done it, from my kids to people, to people out in the world that I know, people here on social media. When I say, hey, Kareem, how you doing? When I say cybersecurity, I would ask them, what's the first thing you think of when I say cybersecurity? You know what they say. You know what they say. The first thing that comes to mind is hacking. The word security is in our job title, but the first thing they think of when I say cybersecurity is hacking. That tells you something right there. And it's not their fault. It's not the hacker's fault. It's ours. It's ours. Hey, Kareem, how you doing? Can we agree that the branches of cybersecurity is just that, different branches? You mean the different, like whether you're a developer or a trainer or a cyber leader or knowledge management, or is that what you mean? Or like a SOC analyst or something? So there's this really, oh my God, I'm gonna have to share that with y'all too. So there's two papers. There's one that I talked about like a year ago. It was written by an Air Force colonel. He's retired, and it was called Cyberspace is not a war-fighting domain. Okay, I did that video like a year ago. I need to do it again. He said this is not a war-fighting domain. That's not, and he gave several reasons why, it's not. We ain't nobody fighting no wars over here. Okay. But it's like that because DOD came up with a definition, and we act like we can't deviate from that. Ciao. So there's that. And then the other one I just found the other day, it was called something about cyber, something about offense, whatever. But it was in the same vein as that, talking about how we really need to rethink what we're doing and fighting, going head to head with hackers, trying to beat them and learn what they learn so we can hack back and all that. That's not going to work. That's not sustainable. It's not. It's like you trying to, fight a natural disaster or something. How's that going to work for you? Hey, Ayana, how you doing? How's that going to work? That's not sustainable. Okay. And I try the best I can because I know it's hard. I know it's not an easy thing to change our minds about some things, especially when we've heard them. When we've heard them for so long, when we've heard them from authorities that we respect, and that we know are, really good at what they do. Okay. It's hard to change our minds when we're already thinking in a certain direction about what something is or should be. Okay. But if this cyber security is actually going to have anything to do with security, we're going to have to. We're going to have to rethink the way we are trained. We're going to have to rethink the way we learn cyber. Okay. Security Plus, come on now, CompTIA. Y'all, listen, y'all got to do better. ISC squared, come on now. We're going to have to get beyond how lucrative cybersecurity seems to be, and really do our jobs. Not just get certified to get a job, okay, but get certified to do our jobs. All right. If that's what we want to do. I feel like cybersecurity is like social work. Listen, if you can't hack it, you're not going to be there very long. You are not going to be there very long. It's like nursing. All right. You gotta have the stomach. You gotta have the stomach for it. All right. Otherwise, you need to listen. Go ahead on and get the mixtapes out your trunk because this ain't gonna work for you. All right. What's plan B? What's plan B? Okay. Because I mean, if you're really here to do what needs to be done, and it's a struggle. I see how it's a struggle. And listen what I tell you. I'm holding trainers accountable. AKA, I'm blaming y'all. All right. All of the, the certification bodies and all these messages that they're putting out and stuff, It's crazy. It's really, really nuts. Somebody sent me a message on one of my videos the other day. I forget which one it was. Maybe like the talking about the CISO or something like that. But he or she, I don't know, said, I don't have any engineering, like I don't know anything about IT, is it still possible for me to get into the profession? And I was like, I said the profession needs you the most. The most. Okay. If your certification is in laying concrete, the profession needs you the most. All right. Because of the nature of it, like we have to have people who think in different ways, you know what I mean? And I told what's his name, what's that dude I always be talking about on here, Dr. Phillips. I told him, I said, if I didn't have a background in social work, HR, hypnotism, what else I got, I'm a mom, I was in the Army, I'm divorced twice. I like chocolate. All that. I'm from Louisiana. I eat fried alligator, all them things. All of that I needed in this profession right here. Right here. I wouldn't be talking about what I'm talking about now or the way that I'm talking about it if I didn't have all that other experience, because people feel like when they're coming into the profession, hey, Kitty Techie, how are you? When people come into the profession, they feel like they're starting from scratch, like their resume is blank almost. You know what I'm saying? Until they get a certification on there. That shit is so untrue. I'm telling you, that's the most untrue. But I feel like we make them feel like that. We make them feel, because the first thing we ask, what kind of certifications you got? Let me tell you something right now. Y'all know I got 3 of them. I got 3, and I'm going to get another one very soon. But the cert that has helped me the most in my job as a cybersecurity policy analyst, okay? Now, let me tell you what I do. I don't just write policy, okay? I work directly with the CISO, okay, on the things that she has to do for RMF, and she's very much involved in that stuff for risk management, okay? I work directly, like intimately. I may as well put my chair in the office, okay, with cyber defense operations, all right, and their POAM, their processes, and the auditing and the stuff that they have to do, and making sure that when they present information to the CISO that it's the way it needs to be, and how do we interpret these ACAS numbers and all that, you know what I mean? As a policy person, all of that is part of my job, all of it. The certification that has helped me the most in that work is project management. Project management. There is so much going on, okay? I'm telling you, in these organizations, so much is going on that people feel like they don't have the time to stop and really just look and see, well, what's going on, and why is this happening here, and who's informed over here, and who needed to know but didn't know. So now we have this bigger problem because they didn't know what they were supposed to know, so they could do their part in the thing. It's project management. That has the most useful certification, okay? And right now, that needs to be on the DoD. What the hell is that? 118150, whatever that list is of certifications you need to get. That needs to be on there, okay? Project management needs to be on there. It ain't got to be the PMP. Just any project management cert that you can get out there. I use Prince 2. I love Prince 2. I think it's better than PMP. But whatever, that kind of skill is, especially in the SOC. There is so much y'all be doing up in there, okay? And I mean, it's too much to have that kind of project management skill. There's just too much, okay? And many of the issues that arise because of lack of project management skill, not because of lack of technical. It's not because you don't know how to work on Splunk, or you don't know how to do an ACAS scan, or you don't know how to fill out a thing where, you know, where the user plugs in. It's not that. No, y'all got that down. Y'all got it down. You just don't know who needs to know about this. Okay? You don't know how to communicate about what's going on in this thing right here. You don't know where this step is related to that step. That's what's causing the issues. Okay? There you go. 8140. Thank you, Kareem. Keep it techie. Is your email address the same? Yes, sir, it is. ypifany@gmail.com. I had StreamYard going. We have a 2-hour show on this topic. Oh, it's hot in here. I gotta turn my my air conditioner on. But yeah, so that's the one, project management. Okay. Also, my value engineering. Those certifications across the pond, them people over there, their certs, them things are so good. I'm telling you, they're thorough, like Prince 2. Okay. We do PMP over here mostly, but the Prince 2, I think you asked the question, M. Gray, the most attainable. I feel like, so I started studying for the project management professional. I was like, this is crazy. This is too much information. And it was like all over the place. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? And then it cost a lot. Then you had to give like evidence that you're a human being and what your blood. I'm like, no, no. What else is out there? Like, what's the other alternative? So that's how I found Prince 2, which I think is so much. I'm very, very biased. I'm telling you that now. I think it's so much better as far as usefulness. When I was using Prince 2 before I even got my certification, it was that useful. Okay, it was that useful, and I still go back to it. You know, even in like today, I'm using. They have a whole wiki. You don't even have to get the cert. Go to their wiki. It's called the Prince 2 wiki. Okay, all of the material is right there. You know, it's very, very good. It's very, very good. Yeah, so Prince 2 is really good. Yeah, so that's the thing. So whatever you have, wherever you're coming from, if you have been a stay-at-home dad for the last 20 years, never been in the workforce, cybersecurity needs you. We need to get a marketing campaign going here, okay? Cybersecurity needs you and your perspective, okay? Because the nature of this work is very much knowledge driven. It's a whole bunch of technology and stuff, but the creativity that we need to be able to have, what do you call those, like if you set up your network a certain way one day and the next day it's different. What do you call that? That's called something, I forget. But we need like the SEAL Team 6 blue team, okay? That is just able to go into an organization and just transform it, okay? Not by hardening everything, okay? But by creative uses of deception, you know, and creative ways to design, you know, networks and all that. You know, we need different minds for that. Everybody can't be thinking IT for that, okay? I did one thing, I forget where it is. I know I put it on LinkedIn, but I talked about like those differences, you know, for each of the parts of the NICE cybersecurity workforce. You know how they have it broken down like protect and defend and something and something and something, right? So in each of those, I had, okay, so for these kinds of, for the work that goes on in this area, these would be the other kinds of, you know, people we would need. And I had in there like artists, you know, people who were former doctors, hairdressers, you know, because these people, they have certain skill sets that we really need. It's the same thing that happened. You see how Linux happened, right? Keep it techie. Linux was a required collective intelligence. Okay, different people from all over the place, working on Linux. And look at it. It's amazing. That's what collective intelligence does. That's exactly what it does. A room full of people who all think the same way, that ain't gonna do much. You might come up with something nice, but it won't be as great as it could have been, had you had other perspectives in the room, people asking other kinds of questions. We need that in cybersecurity. Okay, this cannot be a homogenous profession. It can't. It absolutely cannot. Okay. M. Gray, you said, I was a food delivery driver for 10 years. I constantly thought about physical security. Food delivery driving, that's great. So all them skills that you gained from doing that work, and you gained a lot of skills and experience from doing that work, you got to bring that with you, dude. You can't leave that behind. If you listen, you say DoD 320 is one of the derivatives that cover requirements. Oh, does it really? Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. 3020. I didn't know that. Thank you, Kareem. Thank you for that. If if you've been on OnlyFans for the past 12 years and you trying to break into cyber, come on. Okay, we could transform your resume, in a way where them skills you learn, okay, we can put them to use over here, okay, in a legal way, all right, and without a camera. But I'm saying, it's just, don't leave anything behind. Don't do that. Don't leave anything behind. And if somebody asks you, well, what certifications do you have? What certificates do you have? What kind of skills do you have? Then tell them, I've been laying brick for 5 years. That's what kind of skill I got. You know what's really good? I told y'all about Career One Stop. I'm telling you, Kareem, listen, we need all of them now. We need everybody. Okay, we ain't turning nobody away. But Career One Stop, I told y'all about that, right? I just told my sister about this. Let me show you again. I love this website. I'm telling you. This website is one of my favorites. And you know what else is becoming one of my favorites is the MITRE website. MITRE got some good stuff on there now. I let me show y'all this website here. Career One Stop. I told my sister to go here because, oh, what happened? Oh, let me put it over here. Hold on. There it is. Okay, there it is. This website is great, especially if you're, even if you're not new. If you've been in cyber for a long time, go to this website, okay? Go over here to explore careers and interest assessment, skills assessment. Take the skills assessment, okay? And answer the questions are awesome. I love because it asks you stuff like, how does it go? Like if you're building a cabinet, what tools would you use? Like questions like that, right? It's just really good. So I took this skills assessment like 2 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna take it again because I love taking assessments. But I took it like 2 years ago, and the result came back. It comes back with, well, based on what you said, these are the kinds of skills you have, and the kinds of jobs or the kind of work that we feel you would, excel at. And mine, the majority of mine was related to creativity and art. And one of the jobs that suggested was like an artist, and I was like, man, that's cool. Because which is the reason why I said of Security Plus and the cybersecurity analyst, I fell in love with cybersecurity because of the CISO, the cybersecurity analyst. I was like, if I got to do this kind of stuff all day, this is where I belong. I love just taking stuff and just, analyzing it and finding. I like mysteries. I don't like puzzles. Don't give me no damn puzzle with a picture on it and you know where the pieces go. And no, I want a mystery so I can pull out different kinds of information and just come up with a picture like that. That's what I like to do. So that skills assessment was like right on. For me, it was right on. Okay. So artist, cybersecurity professional, they go together. They go together, you know? They go together. So I love that website. It's so good. It really, really is. And there's a whole, there's a heap of good stuff on here, y'all. I'm telling you, you got to go there and see. All right, I've been on here over an hour. So thank y'all for coming here. And let me just, because I be going off on tangents, I know that. So for the people, who have come in after I talked about what I said I was going to talk about, you cannot hold somebody accountable. All right. When you say we're going to hold you accountable, just go ahead on and tell the truth and say what you're actually saying. Okay. I'm creating a paper trail so I can blame you when something pop off. Okay. Go ahead and write that at the top of your policy or whatever. Okay. Just be honest, because that's what's going on. Because when you hold somebody accountable, you're acknowledging their authority. You're acknowledging the power they have to choose. That's what you're doing. When you really, are looking to have somebody be accountable, you can't make them accountable. You can't hold them accountable. You can only acknowledge their accountability. And then if you're trying to influence those decisions in a certain direction, you provide information to do that. That's what marketing people do. People who do marketing, like really good ones, they acknowledge your accountability. They acknowledge your power, your authority to make decisions. So what do? They create ads that say choosing moms choose Jif. So if you don't choose Jif, you trash as a mother. They give you information to help influence that power you have in a certain direction. That's what they do. That's what we need to do in organizations with your awareness program in Gray. Acknowledge the authority and the power and the control that these users have in this organization. And then give them information that'll help direct them where you want them to go. To help them believe a certain thing. Okay, that's what you do. That's marketing 101. All right. So you acknowledge that, right? You give them the information they need to help influence the secure behavior that you're trying to achieve. All right. And then give feedback, give feedback. Just like when you're in your car, the dashboard, you're getting feedback, every second on your dashboard. What do you do with feedback? You adjust what the hell you're doing, based on that feedback on the dashboard and your environment. Okay. Imagine not having the dashboard in your car and you're driving somewhere. And you got to make a major decision. That's like what we're asking users to do in organizations. We're telling them all day long and twice on Sunday, y'all responsible for cybersecurity. Okay, you're the the core of us having a cybersecure culture. We're holding you accountable for all these various things, but they ain't got no dashboard. We expect all of these amazing cybersecurity decisions, but they ain't got no dashboard, and they don't know what the environment is like. So that's what we got to do, y'all. Okay. Listen, I'm just talking. Okay, I'm sharing a perspective, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. Okay, I'm providing information. All right, that may be useful in decision making. Okay, what'd you say, Kareem? For the record, Security Plus, CISO Pen Test, and CAS are 4 different certs. Just saying. Yeah. Yes, they are. I only have the first 2. Security Plus was hard as hell for me. It was, because I don't like remembering things. I really don't. It takes a lot of effort to remember something. A lot of energy goes in remembering something, and I don't like it. So Security Plus was not easy for me. What'd you say, M. Gray? I do that, but then I blank out at how I should address their power or what I could offer. Well, ask them. Ask them. One thing I'll say here is it's like the feedback I gave for the policy, right? Is to if I'm responsible for so let's say this, right? My boys, they have this this green light app where they have chores to do. Okay. They have chores, you know, in the green light, and they get an allowance and all that stuff. Well, if they're responsible for these chores that they have in the green light app, right? Then I have to enable them to be responsible. All right. I cannot, if you know, Paul's responsible for the bathroom, I can't go in there and clean the bathroom and be like, you're responsible for cleaning the bathroom, you know. Or if another one is responsible you know, for the kitchen, you know, but I lock them out the kitchen, or I don't let them know what a kitchen is, or so, you know. It's like we have all these expectations, but we're not exercising our authority. Okay, we're not using our ability to be accountable to set them up for success. So it's because we assume a lot. We assume so much in these organizations when it comes to security. We assume if we put this thing out there that everybody read it, everybody understood it, everybody knows about it. So now we can have these expectations. You didn't ask nobody nothing. Let me tell you what I did the other day. Okay. Y'all know I have been on here hooping and hollering, okay, about how slow y'all know that blue circle when you're trying to open your email, that damn circle is the bane of my existence. I'm telling you. All right. So what I did was I closed down everything on my workstation except Task Manager. I said, let me start opening this stuff so I can see what the hell is going on. All right. Because what I know, because when on my computer, when I press Word opens. Okay, ain't no delay, ain't nobody thinking about nothing. All right. So I said, let me open Task Manager and see what the heck is going on here when I press an application. Child, I ain't gonna tell you what was on there, but everybody and their mama was up in Task Manager. Okay, everybody and their mother was doing something in Task Manager before Word opened up. I said, child. I said, is this necessary? I mean, all of that, you know, so now I know. Now I know what the issue is, okay? At least part of the issue. So then I went and I looked up information about how, you know, how all these agents are degrading performance, and nobody's doing anything about it. Okay, it's like you just gonna have to expect performance to be degraded. Okay, because we need 75 agents on your you know, on your workstation. We don't ask questions. Do we go ask the users, hey, how are these things working for y'all? You know, how is it helping you to do your work? How is it slowing you down? Where can we, you know, is anybody asking those questions? I haven't seen that yet. Not yet. I've suggested it. I haven't seen it though. You know, I haven't seen it. All right, y'all. I need to go to bed. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really, really appreciate every single one of you. I really, really do. So if you're here and you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And Kareem, I'm going to go ahead and make that. I'm going to do the, what do you call them? The number things, the chapters, or, you know, thank you for suggesting that too, because that's useful for me as well. Because I ain't trying to go back through all that stuff I be talking about. If I want to hear something, I just go right to it. Okay. So thanks for suggesting that. I appreciate it. So if any of you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Thank you so much. And I'm going to see y'all back here next time. Like I told you, I'm going to have that Department of Energy cybersecurity strategy and a pen test, a sample pen test report. All right. We got to get into these pen test reports. We got to get into that. Okay. And we have to be sure that people can, number one, understand what the hell you did. Okay. And then number two, figure out, use what you provided to help decide what they can do, okay? And what they should do. What should they prioritize? Child, this pen test report, I'm telling you, I had to find a bad one so we could get the contrast, okay? So I'm gonna have a bad one. Okay, I got a really bad one. And one that's better, okay? One that's better. Because and even if you're not the pen tester, you got somebody coming in to do that or whatever, that, you know, that's fine. But you got to work with them on that report to be sure that when the decision makers look at this thing, they ain't got to struggle and start assuming stuff because they don't really get what the hell you're talking about. You know what I mean? Especially if the decision makers, you know, are not cybersecurity people. You know, and we already struggle with that, right? Getting people to listen, you know, to really understand the gravity of some of the stuff that we're saying, okay? And it's hard, even in business, right? I mean, people don't really pay attention to preventative stuff. You know, we don't go to marriage counselors when everything's good, okay? We up in there when we already throwing vases and spoons and forks and stuff at each other. You know what I'm saying? We got the cops on speed dial. That's when we go into the marriage counselor. All right. So knowing that, we got to do a much better job, you know, with helping individuals see the gravity of what we're trying to convey. Okay. And we got to do better than some of these pen tests reports that I've been looking at. All right. I appreciate you guys. Okay, keep it techie. I'll check my email. You're one of my favorite people. Oh, thank you, M. Gray. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I want all of you to have an amazing night. And I'll see you back here next time.